Hey there, it's Kathy from Applique Corner. We've received lots of questions recently about how to place names or phrases on the back of ball caps or ladies' baseball caps. We're here today to share some of the information with you. Hopefully you can use some of the tips and tricks that we will show you today in your own software at home and achieve wonderful results. Here's a baseball cap that we've monogrammed the front, and what we're going to do is we're going to place some wording on the back of the arch. Now let me show you some of the things that I use when I do this. You want to have a measuring tape or ruler, some type of marking pen. There are lots of these on the market, whether it be water soluble or heat soluble marking pen, doesn't really matter. You want something to mark it with. Even a straight pen would work, but I prefer the pens. And when you're first starting out, you might want to make a template. This is just a piece of parchment paper from the kitchen. You can trace the back of the arch on the piece of paper or index card or typing paper or something like that, and then cut it out to make sure when you're arcing your letters that you're on the right track. Okay? If you want to join me at the computer now, I'll show you what I do in my software to achieve lettering on the back of a cap. Now we're in the software, and I'm going to go to the lettering section of software, and I'm just going to type in a little words here and a little verse there. I'm going to put a space. Let's see. Okay, there are a couple of different ways to achieve an arc in my particular software. One, you can create a circle and have the lettering go above or below the circle or all the way around the circle if you wish. There's also like freehand drawing, and that's what I'm going to use now. You select your font and you type in whatever wording you would like. And then you have the ability to arc the letters. And then all you do is press enter. And it'll enter in those letters. And I like to move them around just a little bit. I've gone into my software where I can move these little dots, are called nodes. So I can adjust the arc if I wish. I can also move these letters around. I want to place them a little bit closer to each other. Leave a little bit more space here. You can also go into your settings if you wish and fool around with the density or pull compensation or underlay. You want to make sure that you have adequate stitching and that your stitches are close together. Now if you're using one of the Applique Corner fonts, all of that has already been done for you. Here for this demonstration, I'm using a font that was loaded to the hard drive of my computer. So I might want to tighten up on the stitches just a little bit, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Okay. Now I think I've got the letters just where I want them. And then I'm going to go into the settings of my software. And we've got underlay. Oops. Let me go back. There we go. And I'll tighten up, I'll say to about 35 or 36 or so. Excuse me, it's 0.35 or 36 millimeters is what I'm speaking of. Okay, and that just makes the lettering nice and bold. Now that I'm ready, I'm going to hold up my template. You can't see this part, but I just want to hold up the template up next to the computer screen, make sure I'm on the right track. It looks pretty good to me. I'll bring it out just a hair. There we go. Okay. And I will save this in my particular format for my machine. Mine's PES. I'm going to save it to my USB, and I will join you at the machine. Okay, I've taken the USB stick with my design to my machine, and I've selected the design and I've got it set. Now I want to show you how I hoop the cap in the Durkee Cap Frame. You can see that I have flattened out the bill and inserted it under the top plate. I have also placed part of the top of the cap inside the cap frame. There is enough room. So then I've taken the back of the cap and placed it on the sticky stabilizer. What I did next was I took the measurements of my design and I measured the width and I measured the height and I made markings on the cap. I marked the center on the center seam. I also marked the bottom right and the bottom left corner and the top center. And that helps me get the wording aligned correctly. Now we'll take the cap frame to the machine and stitch it. Okay, I had the design selected from my USB stick. I brought the cap frame to the machine and placed it on the machine. Then I want to check the bottom right, the bottom left corner of the designs and center it along the center seam. Now I made markings for the bottom right, the bottom left of the design, and the top center of the design. So I know that when I check, allow the machine to check those corners and the top center, that the design will stitch in a perfect arc right where it needs to be. Okay, now we'll let the machine stitch the design. Okay, now that the design is finished stitching, we're going to take the hoop back to our work table and remove the cap. Okay, we've brought the cap frame back to our work table, and all we need to do is remove the cap from the cap frame. Now you can see how easy it is, and I'm actually going to close this back for you. You can see how easy it is to add wording, names or phrases, or in this case a Bible verse, to the back of your cap, as long as you keep in mind, get the measurements of your design, the width and the height, mark the bottom right and left corners and the top center with your marker. You should be good to go. You might want to practice a few times, but I promise you it's very easy. Hope this helps. Thanks for joining me.